National League North Manager of the Month. Many congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. We did a little interview with Matty during the week, and there was lots of people to thank. First and foremost, the players, but my backroom staff have been outstanding, nothing short of outstanding. I'm delighted with the structure of the backroom staff with regards to recruitment, with regards to coaching, with regards to, you name it, sports science. We've got it here, which is brilliant to be able to boast that at this level. And without them, you don't get Manager of the Month awards. I know you've got to win games of football, and I get that part, but no, the backroom staff have been outstanding, so it's really a tribute to them. And not only that, you know, the players, they're putting their bodies on the line week in and week out. Again, we're going to demand that at the weekend against Radcliffe. And I'm going to say Radcliffe Borough because that's what I remember it for.
Yeah.
But no, we've got to do it again and again and keep on doing it. But because of the approach that we've got in the backroom staff, the reason why we can keep on taking the horse to water and making it drink, etc., is because they've got the knowledge, the information, and hopefully we're going to point them in the right direction on Saturday and try and get 3 points.
It is a curse, you know.
So they say, but it's been under embargo for about 2 weeks as far as I'm concerned. I knew about it 2 weeks ago, so we've won 2 out of 2, so the curse is now being broken.
So Radcliffe it is, and you talk about mental strength, you talk about spirit. Is it going to be another grinder-outer because they're sitting at the wrong end of the table?
Yeah, I've looked at the numbers, you know, and you analyse the opposition as best you possibly can, and they're the top of the pile for some of the numbers and the bottom of the pile for the other numbers. Sometimes as a manager you've got to look at numbers defensively or attacking wise, and you've got to work out what your DNA is. You know, are you a second ball team, are you a progressive team with the ball, are you a chance maker, creator, etc., you've got to go through all of them and tick enough boxes for you to have some kind of identity. I think that's what Radcliffe's been looking for, and I'm sure, speaking to the manager after the game, he'll be looking for that identity, as we all are. You know, you're trying to get a positive identity, and sometimes it can turn negative, you know, depending on the result, of course. I think they're a decent side, and we met them second game of this season, and we'd had a good pre-season, and we'd had a good first result, and then the second result was a 3-0 victory against Radcliffe. I don't think it's going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. I think they do make it difficult. You know, they're organised, they're resilient, they play in a system that suits them as a group of players. And as far as I'm concerned, you go in there. We used to play them in a pre-season friendly ones at Bolton Wanderers, so I'm going back years, knowing what the surrounds are like, you know, the environment. The players that we have will be absolutely tuned into everything that's going to be thrown at them on Saturday. But the most important part is our game plan, and if we stick to our game plan, hopefully we'll have enough. But you know, sometimes you do have to grind a 1-0 out, and I'm not saying I want to do that every week, you know, week in and week out, but it's not a bad trait. If you're going to places like Radcliffe on a wet and windy Saturday afternoon, you've got to have the mentality that you've got to grind. But we've got enough quality to create chances, and we've got enough quality to cause the opposition problems, and hopefully we can bring all that to the party on Sunday.
You talk about piecing together the jigsaw. Have you pieced together this jigsaw? Because you have players now coming back into contention. Good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. It's suspensions coming back, suspensions going out in David Davies, but Cam Candler coming back, you know, having probably played 8 games and only lost 1 against Kings Lynn. Does he automatically walk back into the team? I've got players that have, you know, they're in the side on merit at the moment. You know, a 2-2 draw had failed, and then winning on penalties in the FA Vase. Sorry, the FA Trophy, I'll get it right, in the FA Trophy, was something to be admired because the conditions were absolutely horrendous, and we've already discussed that. For to have that kind of mentality, to win that kind of game of football, it's the right kind of mentality at this level, if truth be known, but also have the ability to play football. We played some lovely football on Saturday in horrendous conditions. But prior to that, we'd won our previous league game. So there's lots to ponder, shall we say, if I'm trying to pick a winning team, a winning formula and a winning combination. I think the system that we play tends to suit us. Will it suit the opposition or the way the opposition play? Well, we'll find out at 3 o'clock on Saturday. But the individuals, the mentality of the individuals, I think that's going to be vitally important coming into, as we always know, an important period at Christmas.
So we're almost halfway there. Point 1, that means you can start looking at the table. Point 2, what about it so far? Have you enjoyed the challenge of it, or is the National League North driving you around the flipping bend?
I think there's a guy standing other side of the camera there. He'll tell you more than anybody. I've embraced it. I've enjoyed it. The challenge of non-league football is there for everybody to see. I've been surprised by it at times. I've been shocked by it at times. I've just everything about it. You can come up against teams like South Shields who try and pass the ball off the park, and that's not the only team in the National League North that do try to pass you off the park with the ball. We're probably classed as one of them teams, Kidderminster Harriers. We do like to control possession, as it were, control the game. But then you have awkward teams like Alfreton that play for long ball, set pieces, long throw-ins, get the ball into the 6-yard box. Like Tamworth got promoted from this division last year, so there's methodology in their style of football. You've got to be able to deal with that. You've got to have players that are going to put their bodies on the line in your own penalty box, and then if you've got them in the opposition's penalty box, you're going to get chances. So we've pieced together that part of the mentality of the game, the jigsaw. But the beautiful picture, if you like, only comes around every so often. And I'm talking about any division. You've got beautiful sunshine at the start of the season, beautiful sunshine at the end of the season. In the middle, wet, windy. We're in England, wet and windy and howling a gale and pouring down with rain and snow and sleet and you name it. You've just got to have that right kind of mentality. And then not only, some of these clubs that we go to, if you look at the surface, I mean, the pitch at Fylde last week was outstanding. Regardless of the weather conditions, it was outstanding. How the game was on when Blackpool just down the road was cancelled, Aintree was cancelled, Everton Liverpool was cancelled, Fylde, Kidderminster Harriers still on. People must have been thinking, what are they doing? Are they playing with crash helmets? Well, you needed to, but bottom line is you still had to have the mentality to win that game of football, and we did.
They do say that the spirit in the camp is reflected by the noise in the canteen. Is it noisy?
Oh, loud as. Every morning you come in, we don't actually, unless we do a double session, we don't actually cater for the players in terms of dinner or lunch, but we do have breakfast, and I love to see a noisy breakfast room, Back in the day when I was first coming into the coaching side of things, we used to say, group of players, 1 to 6, say for instance, you're responsible for everybody's breakfast for a month. Yeah. And it was a good way of finding out what's the culinary expertise like. Can anybody cook? Do you just go cereals? Or just go cereals and whatnot. But every so often you get a bit of fun out of it. You get pancake makers or whatever. And that's what we're getting. We're getting people that bring in a variety of food from all over the world. We've got Maz Kuya who can conjure up some kind of Afghanistan breakfast. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, to tell you the truth, but I do like to travel the world. The noise in the canteen, first thing in the morning, win, lose or draw, and at the moment it's happy because it's a winning change room, but win, lose or draw, it still puts a smile on my face. So we've got the right kind of mix, if you like, in the training camp, in the camp itself, and certainly in the change room. And when you're winning, it's even better.
Yeah. Now, I know you like to take it one game at a time. What manager doesn't? But handily placed in the league. Slough Town, the visitors to Agba in the FA Trophy. That's the last 32. If you look at it glass half full, there's an exciting second half of the season just around the corner, perhaps within touching distance.
I think we're in touching distance because of the proximity in terms of games. 19 games gone, FA Trophy, FA Vars, FA Cup, whatever you want to call them, cup competitions. You get the feeling that you've got a winning mentality, or you've got a group of players that can actually go out there and give anybody a game. On their best day, shall we say. On our worst day, we've also had examples of poor performances, but I can't count them on one hand, put it that way. I can count certainly the King's Lynn performance was a very, very uncharacteristic performance. But we've got a nice mentality of keeping clean sheets, which is down to a damn good goalkeeper for a start, but organisation. I like to be organised on the training ground in terms of defensively. We've got flair in the team, we've got creativity in the team. You put all that together into a mix, you've still got to be able to coach a group of 11 players how to play and obviously deal with the tactics that the opposition can throw at you. So at the moment, coming into shall we say, the Christmas period first and foremost, then the second half of the season. We're prepared, but there will be that opportunity, I think, where transfer windows are open and you can grab a hold of one or two players from anywhere because of where you are in the league. You know, somebody all of a sudden looks an attractive combination. The fact that it's Kidderminster Harriers, the fact that you're up there challenging for whatever. And it's an attractive proposition for players who are maybe even in the higher divisions now. So at the moment, we're in a good place. We'd like to be in a beautiful place at the end of the season, which is always what we talk about. But there's a long, long way to go, and there's a lot of hard work to be done.
Phil, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Agborough on Sunday, obviously. There's the chance for Harriers women to make a piece of history. I know we talked just after the Starbridge win in the previous round about this. Now, the game first was postponed at the weekend and was due to be played away from Agborough. The rearrangement brings it back here, which hopefully is more so in Harriers' favour. Just your thoughts on that, because I know the size of the occasion isn't lost on anyone.
No, far from it. I think sometimes the football gods are on your side, and other times they're not. And I think it can be self-inflicted, to tell you the truth, but the positivity coming from Agborough women, I'm talking about Agborough women, but I'm talking about Kidderminster Harriers women, the positivity that we're getting from that is palpable. You can measure the fact that the players are talking about the ladies and how well they're doing. And a team like Blackburn Rovers in town, we've got a chance to progress even further and show what they can do. It's going to be difficult, there's no doubt about it, but for it to be back here, let's hope the crowd turn up. Let's hope the fans get behind them, whether you support men, women or children, it doesn't matter. It's Kidderminster Harriers at the end of the day. Fingers crossed, hopefully I can make it. But I don't want to pour cold water on it, I don't want to bring them any bad luck, but we really are looking forward to it and wish the girls well.
And it must please you, and we've talked about all the areas of the club going from strength to strength, but from juniors and academy and the senior men and women, we've talked about fostering that family environment. You can really see that developing this year especially. The
feeling of winning games just spreads like wildfire. It spreads throughout, it spreads from the terraces onto the pitch and vice versa, and regardless of whoever's playing or representing Kidderminster Harriers, the badge, they're wearing it with pride. All of these things are part and parcel of the DNA of the club at the moment, and I think as the manager of the men's team, I'm just immensely proud of what the ladies are doing. Absolutely fantastic and great for the town. It's fantastic that you can see smiles on people's face outside the ground, and it's down to what we're doing inside the ground, which is brilliant. I think it's always reciprocal. I've been a supporter when I was a younger man. I was supporter of Sunderland Football Club. I always thought I was playing a part. I was just in the full well end jumping up and down like a lunatic and singing songs and this, that and the other, but you always feel like you're playing a part in the win or the progress of a football club. There's nothing wrong with that, with people getting buy-in from the terraces and vice versa. It's a beautiful relationship, and long may that continue.